Hi, it's Sue Greenwald with Awakened Stories here today with Deanna Carr with the Mystical Moonlight. Hey, Deanna, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Today's secret topic is Mark Twain. Okay.
Okay.
So I had somebody ask me about Mark Twain, and I'm like, oh no, don't tell me. But here's what I know about Mark Twain without doing any research whatsoever. Okay. So correct me where I'm wrong. Mark Twain's real name was Samuel Clemens, and he grew up in Missouri. Does that
Yes.
sound right? Middle like 1830s, 1850s. Like so he was in the 1800s, and he was a prolific writer. He had a lot of great sayings. The books were great. I've read his books and I actually really liked them. But he's well known for traveling on the Mississippi on the riverboats way back then. He's also known for being in San Francisco, writing about like the gold rush and stuff like that. Does that sound true?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good guy or bad guy?
Bad guy.
Oh, damn it. I really have enjoyed his books. So, can you tell
I
us
mean,
what he did?
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, how can you be in all these places
Uh,
and be on the right side of it? You know, when you talk about the gold rush, it wasn't really a time of peace. Like people were going for what they believed in. They wanted to have prosperity. They wanted to have money. They wanted to be able to live the lifestyle they wanted. And this is really when we're just getting into the intro to what money is. Gold was what money was before we had money,
right,
right?
right.
Um, so it was really people were fighting and arguing and hurting each other to get this. So how is it that he's traveling, he's seeing all this stuff, but there's nothing to tell you about really like how did he survive?
Mhm.
How did he survive? Can you tell me?
No.
I find that interesting.
So, wasn't he also a writer for either newspapers or magazines?
He did sell some of his work, but it's
Yeah.
not like it is now. Like you might sell it for a little bit, but it was still in a day and age not everybody was reading.
Ah,
Not everybody cared, and they weren't paying that much. Like now that we have people that get paid a lot to write these articles, we
yeah.
have people that get paid daily. That is their job to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas this, like, he might sell article if it was interesting enough.
Ah,
So he has to be in these situations that it's going to be interesting enough, or it's made up. How is he getting the money to survive? And,
okay.
we talk about this idea of, do what you've got to do. But he was actually robbing people, he was stealing from people, he was considered one of the bad guys. As it got worse, he was actually killing people off to take their money so he could survive and do what he wanted. And he had a persona after a while from his writing that nobody would think of him as being one of these bad guys. So it is a persona that was portrayed as, I'm just a traveler. There's other stuff he was doing when he was on the road.
Okay. So he was a murderer, a robber, or whatever you want to call it, a thief.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
he lived off of other people's money and probably accomplishments. So
Yes.
was the writing his own writing?
Some of it, yes. Some of it,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
He did have help. A lot of it was his own. I'm not saying he was a bad writer, but he was at that point where, I need to survive. What am I going to do? I like writing. And it's not a day and time where you can go online and, start up a side hustle. This was, you got to figure out what to do. And for him, his idea was I can take other people's stuff.
Wow. Okay. Now, was he working independently there, or did he have like a gang or a group with him? Was it
He did
organized?
have a group. He
He
did
had a
have a
group.
group.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They would work together once in a while, but for the big stuff, they would work together.
What kind of robberies did they do? Like bank robberies, train robberies, wealthy
Most-
people.
They're wealthy and banks mostly.
Banks. Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, they were good. And this is also time they didn't have phones, they didn't have cameras. So it's like if they didn't know who it was, they didn't know who it was.
Yeah. I think it would have been a lot easier way back when to do something like that. Obviously, because we have cameras everywhere now. You can't couldn't escape if you wanted to. But
Yeah.
okay. So he was a bad guy. All right. Now, did he do worse than murder?
I'm getting no, but there's really only one other thing that's worse than murder. So, I mean,
Okay.
murder's pretty much.
Yeah, murder's pretty bad. How many people would you say he murdered? Like more than 10, more than 20? Like how many?
I'm getting above 20.
Whoa. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Is he still alive?
I'm getting no.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So basically, he developed a persona of this like really interesting, well sought after, well educated dude. He would take these adventures and write about them. He went, like I said, to the San Francisco area. He was involved in the gold rush, and I would assume a lot of people were desperate there. They were there because they needed money bad,
Hmm.
and they would probably do pretty nefarious things in general, I would
Yeah.
think. But like again, I'm thinking of him on the Mississippi on these river boats. Was he there as well?
Yeah, he was there.
Okay. And that was also a very rough time because again, a lot of rich people would travel on these river boats. They'd have their jewels and their this and their that. And probably a lot of them never made it off the river, is my guess.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. I didn't really want to hear that, but okay.
Yeah.
All right. Was he a pedophile?
Yes.
Ugh, okay. All right. Was he a cannibal?
No.
Okay. Whew. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm like I read his books years ago and I really liked them and it's like I'm so disappointed, but it
Yeah.
is and maybe I wouldn't like them so much now. But okay. Anything else we need to know about him, his life, what he did, his reputation, his
I think
legacy?
I think, you know, there's a lot of creative people that are good at writing. It is one of those things that if you can get into your imagination, if you can get into a writing style that people enjoy, it is easy to be enjoy like it's easy for people to like your
Yeah.
books.
Yeah.
It did take a little bit for that to get to that point, but you know, you can like his books, but as a person, he's not good.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But if someone's evil, I don't want to read their
Support him.
books. Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
of course.
course, I didn't know this was like 30, 40 years ago or more. Okay, a long
Yeah.
time ago, but and I might not like them now, but I when somebody said talk about Mark Twain, my heart fell and I'm like, "Oh no." Because everyone we've talked about except maybe two have been evil.
Yeah.
And it's all coming together, isn't it? We're learning the real stories behind what we've been taught.
Hmm.
Yeah. So his reputation, 100 years forward, 100 and whatever years forward, is still this. He's an awesome writer, awesome guy, adventurous, blah, 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 blah. The truth was never told. Well, I don't know if people knew the truth, but the truth has not been told about him.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we need to know?
I don't know. You can
Okay.
always put into the comments whatever questions you have. I'm
Okay.
sure we'll probably have another video on this.
So for those that are watching, please send me all your questions about this and any other topics we talk about because it's super fascinating, but every time we do a story like this, we're really learning what we're not taught. So it's very
Yep.
interesting. All right. Thank you so much, Deanna. I really appreciate your time.
Of
All
course.
right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.